dialogue with the Federal Reserve, including Mr. Bernanke, but that's in a group setting, and so no.
Any interaction with the administration at all about your testimony?
May I say, gentleman from Utah, your time has...
My apologies, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Right. I now yield 5 minutes to the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Cummings.
Mr. Lewis, I've listened to your testimony very carefully, and you know, I understand, and I've read a lot about you. You're a great man, but I think one of the things that you have tried to do today is to walk a very thin line. You just heard Republicans and Democrats say, to some degree, that whatever was said to you about losing your job and the board being dismissed, basically what we've said is we don't buy it. I assume the minutes are accurate from your board meetings. Are these things you vote on? The minutes from board meetings?
Yes, sir. We do.
Very well. I'm talking about, this is December 22nd, 2008.
Right.
Let me read something to you. It says, you've apparently, Mr. Lewis reported a series of calls, but let me go down to, and you talk about a number of things, but this is one thing that I found very interesting. The second point, it says that this is what you told your board. It says the Treasury and the Fed stated strongly that were the corporation to invoke the material adverse change, a MAC clause in the merger agreement with Merrill Lynch and fail to close the transaction, the Treasury and the Fed would remove the board and management of the corporation. If that isn't a threat, I don't know what is. If I say I'm going to fire you if you don't do what I tell you to do, not only am I going to fire you, but I'm going to fire your board. It just goes, I mean, what you said, and I know that you were caught in a difficult situation. I know that after this merger was done, your folks benefited tremendously, and I know that Bank of America is doing fine now. But I'm here to tell you that no matter how great Bank of America is doing today, the end does not, the means does not justify the end. In other words, throughout these transactions, we must have honesty, integrity, and transparency, period. And so what I'm saying to you is I know you're trying to be nice, but here we've got a situation where apparently Mr. Paulson has told you, do it. Sort of like the Nike commercial. Just do it. And then you come in here trying to tell us, oh no, I was worried, sky was falling. I was just so upset. And we don't buy it. So I'm going to give you another chance. You didn't feel threatened?
Well,
I mean, don't get us to describe it. We're trying to figure out what you were feeling. And you know why we want to know? Because we want to straighten out this mess.
I've been pretty consistent as you just described it as it happened.
Yeah, well, maybe you need to be inconsistent and tell us how you felt.
Well, I did, as I think I have said at some point in time, maybe not today. It was a strong influence on my decision, but it wasn't the only influence.
I understand. Now, so apparently you're going to, okay. Now, let me ask you this. Did Mr. Bernanke have any influence with regard, I mean, I understand you just answered the question, but did he ever say that you should not disclose certain information, you should do this deal? I mean, did that ever come to you in any kind of way from Bernanke?
No, sir. He never said we should not disclose anything that was disclosable. That would be our decision, and I never heard from him on the issue of us not disclosing something.
All right. Well, anything else? You look like you're trying to go somewhere. Go ahead.
Well, the second piece I thought that you asked me, sir, was the issue of him not wanting us to call the MAC, and he did express that to us.
And so when did he do that?
He expressed it on more than one occasion. I don't remember which dates, but several times.
And last but not least, you are an experienced man. I understand you have great judgment. Apparently, when you thought about this MAC thing, it was based upon your own experiences, was it not?
Yes, sir.
You just don't say, I think we've